Welcome, everybody, to the
Hello.
welcome to AIA South Carolina's Procrastinator Series. We are you've landed at the Eurowall Continuous Design Uses for Large Opening Glass Wall Systems. We have on with us today Melissa Watness, our Education Committee Chair, who has some microphone issues, but she is joining us with Bethany Ollison of Eurowall. She is the Architectural Sales Coordinator with Eurowall, and she will be presenting on continuous
Hi there.
design.
Yes, I'm Bethany. I've been with Eurowall for 4 years, almost 4 years in August. I've been in the window business for that long a period of time, so I'm very, very knowledgeable of Eurowall. Pretty exciting stuff that we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about continuous design uses for large openings. For glass wall systems, it is going to be focused on how these operable systems can be used, and it's really exciting. But anyway, feel free to chime in if you would like during the presentation. I do love engagement, so if there's any questions, feel free to stop me and ask. If I can provide the answer, I'm happy to do so. In the 4 years that I've been with Eurowall, I started as a quote in the quote department. I've done almost every configuration that Eurowall can do with their systems, which is a lot. And then it's moved into this architectural sales coordinator role that I've been doing for the last year and a half. So really excited to meet with you guys. A little bit about Eurowall. Eurowall's been in business for 15 years now. It started out with a couple guys in Northport, Florida, just building folding door panels. Um, and with a chop saw. So there was just a couple guys building these folding doors at massive sizes. We were the first to make these glass walls at an impact rated level. And we've grown quite a bit since then. We have over 100 employees now. We have more than just folding doors to choose from. We've got sliding doors, pivot doors. We also have a window line that's pretty exciting, casement thin line, and also the direct set. So anyway, we're still rapidly growing, and our main goal in the last year and a half has been to try to make our architects a little bit more at ease when it comes to specifying our products. So I'm looking forward to working with all of you during this presentation. So yes, this is an AIA registered course. I believe Stephanie or Melissa, I'm not sure if they're going to be reporting this or not, but we will get these reported for you. I have certificates if you need one. I'm happy to do so. Here are your copyright materials. So today, I'm not going to read everything on the slides because I know you can perfectly read fine, but I'm going to kind of brush up on them. The course description today, we are going to understand the correct definition of each large glass wall system. You're also going to learn about some new limitations that we can offer that you may have closed the doors on years ago. For example, sometimes I've had architects think that they can only have a swing door and a folding door at the gym, which is absolutely not true. You can have that on other panels as well. And this is an HSW, so we will be collaborating on how large openings relate to your safety of your occupants as well as their health. So here are your learning objectives. We are going to talk about new ideas for your residential and your commercial projects. We're going to create an awareness on how these large openings are an extremely important part of your design. I know you guys are probably already aware of that. And then, as you know, we are going to define each system and kind of give you an idea. When I was in the quoting department, it wasn't a day that went by that somebody would ask me for a sliding, stacking, folding, pivoting door, and that's 3 different systems all in one. So anyway, we're going to define each of them and break them down. It's pretty fun stuff, and talk about capabilities. So anyway, today, or the first objective is our capabilities and how you're going to put them in your designs. And we do have to ask ourselves, what is a large opening? I'm not sure how many people in this presentation have ever spec'd 12-foot, 14-foot doors. If you have, I want to say thank you so much. We have actually been listening the last 15 years here at Eurowall and continuing to try to grow with your ideas and being creative. If you haven't, I'm hoping that after this presentation, I can intrigue you to start going larger, especially in those coastal applications that you're trying to reach impact ratings. To be technical, extra wide, extra tall, extra large, that is the definition of that. So let's talk about each one of these systems. As you know, every opening is unique. So let's learn about which system works in different types of spaces. Folding doors. Folding doors is what we're going to start with. It's because it's what we cut our teeth on. We feel it just seems natural to be able to go into this. Being from Florida, this is a big testament, saying that max opening size of 415 square feet. We've come a long way with impact ratings in Florida. 15, 20 years ago, I was not in the window business. But I have heard from a lot of veterans that when building codes started to happen, they were limited to maybe a French door, maybe a 2-panel sliding door, one fixed, one operable. And to be able to open up a size of 415 square feet really does show testament to how creative and resilient we are with new codes and trying to develop new ways in order to fulfill our design needs. And we're going to talk about some fun things about configurations with the folding door. Also, if you need a visual on how big 415 square feet is, that's the size of two-car garages next to each other. So again, we've come a long way. Here are your widths and heights. With impact ratings, I'm not sure in South Carolina, I know you have some areas where you're mindful of this. I think you're more in wind zone 3. You can go 52 inches wide across the board in any impact situation. Your max height for wind zone 3 is 14 foot tall. If you are doing projects in the islands or somewhere that requires HVAC, which is Miami-Dade code, you will have to take those down to 12 foot tall. But that's still rather tall. You'll see some pictures of these windows at 12 foot tall as we go. Eurowall can go really large with these panels. We are one of the largest. We're the first to go largest. 40 by 10 when I was in the quote department per panel was not an abnormal request. We can do that all day long. And also, I know folding doors, you're always thinking about large openings. And these folding doors are definitely more than just large openings. You can use them for window units, bar tops. They can go as short as 32 inches tall. Here you're going to see all those panels are going in one direction, and you also can see below our number of panels is unlimited. As long as you maintain that square footage, you can have a complete run going to the right or left, whichever way. Pretty exciting stuff. These folding doors have sill options. Ours do, some don't, but these are a couple that you can choose from with Eurowall. We've got the standard water rated sill there on the left. If you're looking for water ratings, this is the one we're going to recommend. You're only going to have a 2 1/4 riser on the interior. So it's really great for those half in bed looks in residentials. Then you have the modified standard sill, where it can be completely embedded into the ground. And the ADA sill, again, can be embedded into the ground and give you ADA compliance. That ADA sill is strong enough for vehicles to drive right over. So they're great for dealerships when they're trying to deliver showroom cars or even test drive them. In your area, South Carolina, you probably don't have as many impact ratings as you need, and you're kind of an all-weather state, I would say, where you don't have extremely hot weather or really cold, maybe not. But anyway, the channel sill is great for non-impact areas, especially bar tops. There's not a water rating, but it is rather small. You can see 15, 16, 7-inch deep. So you can completely embed that in the bar and make it almost disappear. So here's a great photo of water management. The only thing about this slide is I kind of caution you on this. You could be overloading here with having a half embed with the water management underneath. It's really unneeded. Why? Because if you don't ask for water management, factory weeps will be installed on the exterior of the threshold. So I wouldn't necessarily call out water management with these thresholds. This is where I would recommend that when you're fully embedding that system. You can see both the standard and the modified and channel as an example. Those weep holes that you see that I was mentioning that come out the exterior will be removed. and all the water will be channeled down below on these in these water management pipes just to manage that water. Here's some folding configurations. You don't have to be limited to having your swing door at the jamb. You can have your swing door on any of the odd numbered panels, whether it be 1, 3, 5, 7. We also have panic bars available for impact ratings. We're the only folding door that provides this kind of source. Here are some different configurations that folding doors offer that we can do at Eurowall as well. We have the postless corner connection you see here. There's 2 of them. We can have uneven panels on each side, saying that if you wanted 2 panels on the left and 4 panels on the right, we wouldn't have an issue doing that. You don't have to have them equal. We can also do end corners, which is not displayed in this photo. Then you have a split level. I've seen this all the time where you have an actual exit and a bar top next to each other. No longer do you need to spec 2 different systems with a post in the way. These will actually connect, these two panels will connect together. And when you open up the system, there will be no interruption. Whoops, I jumped ahead. And we have our radius door. There are several competitors that can do a radius folding door. What stands apart from them and what we can do is we actually provide a full header and sill. We take the product to Texas and they bend it to the degree that we need. The most minimum degree that we can do is 14 degrees. So anyway, we have that threshold and the header bent and it comes back to production so we can finish production. A really beautiful piece. It's kind of a common no whenever I ask, especially in Florida, if they've ever done a radius door. It's intimidating. Just know that I'm here to help if you ever do have an application like this. All we need is an actual width, or whoop, I did it again. Trying to point out, I just need a cord length, which would be what the right to the left point of the opening. And then what is in the middle of the projection. And I can help you with how many panels it's going to need, because you do need to be aware that we do curve our track and header, but our panels are still straight. So anyway, I can work with you on that and make that process a lot easier than you think. Then this specialty configuration is pretty fun. A lot of you probably have this mind thought of a folding door. I know what they do. They typically, open one on one side of the jamb and the opposite goes down the track like a train to the opposite side. So I have to figure out 2 different stacks where they're going to be and so forth. Wasn't it, I went almost weekly. We used to see this configuration you see with 1 left, the 4 middle and the 1 right. And we had to turn them down. We were actually able to do this specialty. It's called a multi-directional. You can have swing doors at each jamb and even numbered of panels going to the left or right, floating freely. If you take away this left swing, you could potentially have a 4 or 2 panel that you did not have a place for on the stack that you can now move over to that swing door. So now we're going to hop on over to sliding doors. And if you have any questions about that multi-directional configuration, please feel free to reach out. I can share some videos that we've just recently had of these multi-directional. Sliding doors. Sliding doors are completely different than folding doors. They do not come with hinges. It's going to be completely a parallel, or it's going to be a parallel stack. They're going to stack up against each other. 628 square feet. So you can fill a larger opening with this system. As you can see in this photo, this is actually a Miami-Dade residence where they're able to go and look outside their home out to the ocean. They could see dolphins swimming in the air. They are swimming in the air, swimming in the water, palm trees blowing in the air. Really, they could probably even sit there during a hurricane if they'd like. I don't advise it. But anyway, they could. And this is an answer to half your customers. Half your customers are going to want to open everything up to the exterior all 365 days a year. And the other half are not going to want to open everything up. They do not want those elements inside their home, want to waste their air conditioning or turn their air conditioning off. So this is the answer. They can see this view all the time. Here are your max panel widths and heights here. Yes, 84 inches and wind zone 3 is your max. We can stretch those limits in non-impact areas. You have a panel height of 14 feet for wind zone 3. It is 12 foot again for Miami-Dade. And as you can see, there is a minimal panel height of 32 inches. So you can have window units as well. All right, so your max number of panels is 8. That's a great story. Actually, I'd like to bring up real quick. We used to be limited to 4 to 5 panels going in one direction. A few years back, we had a Costa Rican architect that wanted to use an 8-panel run in their resort. We told them our limitations. He said, I don't care about Florida product approval. I'm in Costa Rica. So anyway, we talked to him about the depth of the track. It is about 17 inches. He was okay with it. It ended up being quite an incredible system. So yes, we can do a total of 8 panels going one direction. The photo on the right is a great example of our thin interlock, 15, 16, 7-inch sight line. So you're really getting the whole view. I know you probably hear this almost every day in your work life. More view is possible, less interruption. I really want to open up everything to the exterior. So this is a good answer to that request. Here are our sill options, or you can choose an interior ADA option for interior use only. I do believe we can do something like this in a non-impact area too. Just get with me so I can make sure that that application is correct. You can see then we do have our exterior tracks here. You have all the way to 8 tracks that we've stopped at 5 here, but an 8 track is 17 and some change deep. You can see that with the 11. If you take the 5 and the add-on, or you can actually see, no, it would be the 5 and this. So it's the 17 plus the 6. It's a pretty deep header track and jam. So if you wanted to take advantage of that 8-panel run, you will need to make sure that application is a fit for that. Okay, so being that we can do 8 panels in one direction, these are just a few of your configurations. You don't have to have fixed panels at the jam. You can actually have them all operable if you like. Also, we have pocketing available on both sides or one side if you need, in and exterior pockets. We have a postless corner connection with our slider as well. We can do an in corner and an out corner if you need. Here you can see different options to lay our threshold. You can have it completely on top of the floor with factory weep holes out the exterior. Same with the half in bed look here you see below. And then what stands out from our competitors that we do have quite a water rating with our full in bed threshold. You probably are not as familiar with this challenge as we are in Florida, but to be able to get some kind of a water rating without an interior riser, as you can see, is a very big challenge. So that is something that stands out with Eurowall being able to provide a full in bed water rated sill. Here you're going to see pivot doors. Again, massive panel sizes, just like the multi-slide, except for usually it's just going to be one panel. 70 square feet per panel with very large, a very large opening can be filled with this. There isn't a threshold, so you do need to be mindful of water. I like to tell everybody to treat these just like you do an in-swing door if you're concerned about water. The projection of the overhang needs to be 1.5 times the height of the door. We do have something that helps with the water control that we'll talk about as we go. Here you're going to see max panel widths and heights. Max panel widths for these pivot doors is 100 inches wide. That's a really outrageous size. I know I never thought anybody would ever ask for a 100-inch wide pivot door, but somebody did. They actually put a center pivot on the panel and made it a 48-inch clear opening on each side. So pretty cool application, I would say. Panel heights and height limitations are the same as the multi-slide and the folding door. You can go as high as 14 foot tall in wind zone 3. And you do have a maximum height in Miami-Dade at 12 foot tall, which is rather large. I like this 3-panel pivot because it reminds me of my old boss. He went to Texas and did a presentation just like kind of similar to this, and this photo appeared. He asked if he could put them all in one frame, and the architect, and obviously Mark said, no, we can't, they need to be all in their own separate frame. He said, well, then I'm done with this presentation. Come back when you can figure it out. So anyway, he did not take that offensively. He actually ran back to engineering and started working really hard. I'll show you how far he came with that innovation as we go. I love these photos because it's a great example of everything that we can do on the exterior, we can do on the interior. Also, you can see different size mid rails and patterns. We can do unlimited amount of patterns on our glass. Privacy glass, low iron glass is absolutely no problem at all. You can have in swings and out swings impact rated. It's not going to matter about water because there's no threshold. Then you're going to see there, this is how far we've come with those single frame multi-pivots. Mark got with our engineering team right away and we were able to figure this out for him. So we were able to come back to that firm quickly and tell them, yes, we can put them in one frame. We are selling these outside of Florida, so South Carolina should be available for this configuration. We launched 3 window products last year. So this has yet to be approved for impact ratings. We are going to be working on that in 2026. Here's that managing water answer I have for all of you whenever you are working with the pivot door and concerned about water at all. This is a helpful resource. We just use our channel sill with our water management right underneath the panel of the door. You also can take the flooring right up to the threshold and make it a simple shadow line. Here you're going to see where you'll want to put that water management system. First is this is a great one for if you are very concerned about water getting into the home at all. Having it in front of the panel, as you can see. This is a very common one, having it behind the panel or underneath the panel, behind the sweeps, especially in those coastal applications when you have sand to think about getting into those drains. It's always helpful. Let's talk about some specialty configurations. We've kind of touched on these already, but we're going to brush on them a little bit more. We do have our folding and sliding window units, bar tops, as you can see. These are great for passing food and entertaining. Then you have 2 photos of postless corners. I love these applications. Why? Because you can take such a tight space as you see in this kitchen and open up the folding doors and transform the space. You really do get the opportunity to bring in more people to enjoy that beautiful spot. Same with that bedroom, very, very close. The bed is very, very close to that window. Once they open up that system, that space, and make that space a lot roomier. Here's a photo of a split height connection. You can see there's no post in the way. Our astragal actually is right in here in the style. Well, actually it's right in this one because it's even numbered panel. But anyway, you can barely even tell that there's a postless corner connection as well. It's less than an inch thick or inch wide. So it really, from the naked eye, you cannot tell that there is a split height connection. Radius doors, you can see here, I just like to point out the one track or one piece track and header really helps an operable system move smoothly. And segmented tracks are great, but they can be a puzzle piece to put together. And also, obviously, you have to put sealant and caulking every place you have segmented to the track and header. And as you know, caulking looks great at first, but give it about 6 months and it starts to look like crap. Pardon my language. Anyway, here we are.
Bethany, I think your connections. I can't hear you.
Are talking about new ideas. I don't know if I'm cutting out or not, but my internet says it's unstable for some reason. Anyway, these sliding doors can be requested with automation. They will be activated with a push button start or maybe even your phone. What's really cool is we have a motion detector fob that can be attached to anything that will open the doors automatically. I'll show you how that benefits. Here is a great photo, and I hope this doesn't blow your guys' ears out. It's a great photo of an automated sliding door. We're actually working on one for our pivot door as well. It's being tested right now. Pretty exciting stuff though. Okay. Well. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so on a serious note, this automation is very important for people that are in wheelchairs. I didn't really realize this, and maybe you aren't aware either. I don't know, but I didn't realize how hard it was for somebody in a wheelchair to open up a slider door, any door, for that matter. So anyway, we donated this slider to the Gary Sinise Foundation to a veteran that was wounded, now lives in Sarasota. We donated our multi-slide, and provided the automation with it. They put the motion detector fob on his wheelchair so he can just wheel right up to that door and it'll open on its own. And we have a sill and fill for the track. I did not show that earlier, but it fills in the gaps between the tracks. So it's easier for him to wheel his chair right over that track and go out to his lanai. He doesn't have to ask anybody for help. Keypads are big too. These are going to be by others through HeroWall, but we do like to work with you and make things easier. We have alternatives. We test your keypad handles if you are interested in using a particular brand. If it's not already recorded, we will even purchase that handle and make sure it works for you. Not only are we going to guarantee that it works for you, we will save those specs for our CNC machine to program and drill those holes. So you will not have to worry about installing the store. You'll not have to worry about or installing this hardware and drilling holes in your brand new door. And you're also going to know that it works. Same with mag locks. They're and key cards. We're going to work with you on that. Let's talk about where these large openings are used. Pretty much everywhere, but let's be more specific than that. Restaurants and bars really love these folding doors. They're very big, especially down here in Florida in those nice weather months. Everybody likes to open everything up from the exterior and bring it into the interior, as you can see in this photo. But not only are they creating a atmosphere for their clients, but they're also increasing revenue by having these folding doors. They're able to have more seating, also create a flow for their staff. The faster they can get food and drinks to tables and get them full and happy and leaving, the faster they get new tables, so therefore more revenue. Here's a great photo of our folding door in a mall. They also like to open up their space completely to allow as many people in as possible. Jordan, he's about 6'7". You can barely tell that because these are 14-foot tall panels. These are max width and height system here. And as you can see, that swing door is not connected to the jamb. Libraries are using large openings. They're trying to separate, or they're trying to find other reasons to use these libraries. They become emptier and emptier as technology takes over our books. So these rooms are becoming more multi-purpose. So they are using large openings to divide the spaces and make them multifunctional. Here you see kind of an education center also taking advantage of the folding door. My goodness. Okay. Are you guys still there? Because I'm 1 second.
I can hear you now.
Trying to, is it blowing your guys' ears out? I'm sorry. I tried to mute it. So anyway, you can see that's the channel sill and interior. This is more for like a non-impact or interior threshold. They used our wood clad on the interior exterior here. And then you can see just shutting those panels, absolutely no problem. And then there is that egress door. So when they are in an educational atmosphere, if somebody needs to use the facilities or get up to take care of a customer, they're able to leave and still keep everything private. He will just keep opening and shutting this door over and over again. So we will probably just keep moving to the next slide. Event spaces are kind of like that restaurant idea. They're able to bring more people in when they're able to open the system. This is a project in St. Louis. Being from Missouri, I'm allowed to say this. We are called Misery for a reason. So we do not have that many nice days a year, but when we do have them, we like to open everything up and get that fresh air in. And even on those colder days, it's nice to be able to see that view. You actually get the feel of having that space that you're wanting. Fitness centers, again, and they're allowing ventilation and light to come in while people are working out. This is a residential fitness center, if you can believe it. But there's a hospital. There's a lot of hospitals with the gift shops that are really big on our folding doors. They like to be able to shut everything up whenever it's closing time to keep people out. Then we've got amusement parks. This is big for us in Florida, but yes, amusement parks love these large openings. Why? At opening, they have massive amounts of people coming in. They want to be able to bring them all in as fast as possible. Then also all those people are going to be leaving at the same time at closing. So the larger the opening, the better. The more the doors, the better. Office spaces love to open everything up. This is a dealer of ours in New Jersey that also doesn't have very many nice days of the year, but they certainly do like to take advantage of opening everything up whenever those days are nice. You can see he's taking that max width and height panel and just letting it go. He did not come out of his shoes to move that pivot door, and he aligned it with one of those overhead garage doors, which it really does pair well with our large openings. All right, so now we have resorts and clubs. Again, they like to be able to bring their pool areas mostly in to the interior of the resort and club. Country clubs all day long, very popular with the Eurowall. Here's a picture of a car dealership in Sarasota where they used our folding door to allow showroom door cars to come in and out, also possibly deliver one at ease. Stadiums love to bring the games into the interior of the facility. This is a tennis court that we did a few years back. Pretty special stadium. It's a tennis court. They actually took the suites and put our folding doors, as you're going to see soon, as they bring down the camera. That is our panic bar that's got impact ratings, and you can spec or request through us. They used a custom granite gray. We can do any color that you'd like. Fire engine red, Barney purple, you've got it. During tennis matches, or if it's cooler out, they're able to shut those doors. During concerts, they're able to open up those doors so the music can be brought into the interior. Another thing that's special about this stadium is they used our multi-slide. We've been seeing this a lot with box offices. They like that slim interlock in between the panels so they can see the field and make sure that they're not missing anything. But anyway, they love these large openings. Here is a residential project. Yes, residential projects do love these large openings as well. It's beneficial to their health. Actually, we'll talk about that a little bit later. And I'm sure you hear this all the time. I paid for this view. I want the most view I can get. And then leaving that responsibility to you. And I'm sure you've heard that before. So yes, these residential projects are big with large openings. They want the bigger, the better most of the time these days. Now we're going to talk about why these are an important form of your design. You probably already know this, but what are the benefits of designing large openings? Not only are these folding doors at this restaurant providing more revenue, more seating, and flow for their staff, but it's also creating a real modern aesthetic. Again, there is our panic bar. Here we are expanding available space. They are able to take that golf course and outdoor kitchen and bring it into the, or outdoor kitchen into the indoor dining room, really bring everything into one. Here they are maximizing natural light again. Clubhouses absolutely love Eurowall on their applications. Here is a great photo of our radius door again. And this is definitely an inviting entrance. You can see that curve is not so prominent, so they're able to take advantage of those wide panels as you see. Connecting with the environment, which is very healthy. And you can see they're really bringing that environment into the interior of their home. Offering an uninterrupted view. And not, this is a great example of us working with our design, the design world. We had an architect in Alice Beach area that wanted to implement their Widow's Peak with the folding doors on this first floor. Called me and asked, why can't I do short Euro walls? Why are they all large? Anyway, we looked into it with our approval and we were able to get it penciled in. It was already approved. We can do as low as 32 inches, I mentioned, but this is the first window unit that we were able to do. All right, so then you're seeing this wedding venue is increasing its functionality. It's used for all kinds of different events. You can see also they have overhead doors paired with our slider. They really do go well together whenever you're trying to really bring that exterior inside. All right, let's talk about how these large glass wall systems can improve an occupant's safety and health. I got to be honest with you, I stumbled on this when I first started this role. I thought, how do large openings really help with these two things? So it was nice to go over all this. We'll talk about safety first. As we know, we all watch the news and being secure, your home being secure, especially if you're not there long periods of time, can be very important. And it was very important for us as a manufacturer 15 years ago, being the largest Florida product approved systems out there. Our customers were typically your higher end. I mean, we've got celebrities with Eurowall, we've got politicians, sportsmen. I mean, anybody that you can think of and that higher elite was purchasing our doors. So we had to make sure that they were very sturdy with anti-theft. We've got a 3 or 4 point locking system on all of our systems, especially in Florida. And I know that's around the beach area in South Carolina. Those homeowners typically are not there all the time. So locking is really important. And I don't know if you've ever been to an impact rated testing lab, but they do shoot 2x4s into the glass. They try to get all 4 corners of the glass. And then they actually take a jet engine and push and pull air to the panels to make them flex. Once all that is over with, they wait about 45 minutes for that glass to fall out of the panel. If it does not, then you get approved. Now, you don't just have to do it one time. It has to happen 3 times in order to get the official certificate for Florida product approval. 300 miles an hour, that 2x4 hits that glass. That's what I've been told anyway. I've never been to a testing lab, but that's what I was told. Storm rated, very, very, very important. I know South Carolina has experienced some of this in the past few years as well, but impact rated glass is extremely important. And then obviously, yes, panic hardware is another form of safety with large openings. It allows an easy exit for emergencies such as fires. All right, let's talk about how these large openings can promote healthy living. This one was more something I stumbled on more than, safety. Fresh air, though, is pretty obvious that this is something that does help with, healthy living. Clean air exposure has been known to boost moods. Clean lungs, even known to reduce illnesses, airborne illnesses and such. I'm sure all of you heard somebody, when you're not feeling well, say, maybe you should just go get some fresh air. And that came from something. And we have biophilia, which means experiencing nature. I didn't know what that word existed until I started learning more about architectural needs. And this does help with, combating with seasonal depression and vitamin D absorption. Of course, being from Missouri, I do have to speak for that. I'm outside all the time in Florida now, and it definitely just improves your mood, just being able to be outside and have that biophilia. Sleep and large openings. I always thought opposite. I thought I needed to sleep in the basement in order to get good sleep, but they've been able to prove, and I have also been able to notice my own patterns that being able to see it dark outside really helps most sleep better. And also when you can see that sunlight or that sun coming up the horizon, it helps you wake up a little bit more refreshed. I know during daylight savings, whenever we lose an hour, I try to go to bed an hour early and be responsible, and I still feel tired. And that's that circadian human clock. Focusing, education centers are big on these large openings and bringing natural light in. It helps their students focus for a long period of time, also reduces stress during test times. Recovery, hospitals have proven that they have shorter hospital stays, allowing that natural light to come in everywhere. As you know, their main objective in a hospital is to get sick people better so they can make room for more sick people. They do not want to have to turn away sick people from their establishment. Productivity, this falls along the same lines as that education. Even employees are seeing positivity, having that natural light coming in all the time. They're able to work those 8-10 hour days and 5 days, 6 days a week and not feel so burnt out, having that natural light. And then again, athletics are big with large openings, and this is definitely a part of healthy living. It allows the ventilation and natural light to come in. Gets the stuffy air out, and if you're getting hot, especially when you're in a high energy sport. All right, so I guess you got lucky, didn't have to hear from me for too long. I do have some questions in here I'm going to kind of address here in a minute, but let's go over our course conclusion. We've talked about capabilities and usages for these large openings. We've talked about new ideas that you can use for your commercial and your residential projects. We've talked about how important these are to your design and delivered answers on how operable glass systems can improve your occupants' health and safety. So I am looking at some, all right, looking at some questions here.
John Romano, are you there? I can let you ask Bethany.
How much
Hmm?
of if any, overhang is required over the doors with the sill where it requires a drop-in slope away from the door? Which door was that? Was that, I don't know which one at this point, which one that was. I'm gonna assume it's a folding door. Just
Yeah,
because,
any of the either the folding door or the biparting door. And I guess with either any of the sills, like if there's a not necessarily the sill with the water management, but if you have a flush interior condition, and then
um,
a,
I
a
like the modified for that, the modified standard. Now water ratings are not really there. We can implement that water management system underneath to flow the water away with that slope. It's going to be kind of like the same as the pivot door, having the flush transition, and that's going to be with all pivot or folding doors across the board, having that flush transition. I would say 1.5 times the height of the door. You may be able to go little bit less if you implement that water management system underneath, but that's what I'd recommend. And honestly, John, if you could possibly send me some details on that, I can definitely get with my team or even evaluate it myself and help you through all of that.
okay.
And then, okay, and then Melissa had mentioned they fire 2x4s at the center and around 4 corners at 5 consecutive impacts at the same time. They're in the same test. Yes, they throw it. What I've been told, I've not been able, my engineers, it's so funny. I've asked to go and they are like, Bethany, it's not as glamorous as you think, and it takes forever. You're going to be driving yourself crazy. But anyway, they said that they shoot the 2x4s in all 4 corners of the glass. Then they start to proceed with that jet engine and push and pull the panels. You can literally, and if you want me back for another presentation, I'll show you the video where the aluminum is literally flexing like this because of the wind pressure. Another thing on the DP charts, you may see 2 different numbers. There'll be like let's say like 50 plus and 60 minus, and that's because they're actually measuring how much weight they can push in air and how much they can pull. So that's pretty cool too. Anybody else have any questions? No? Well, okay. Well, I guess I'll be I guess I went a little too fast today. I've still got 15 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to speak up or reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Um, all right. Thanks, Kellen.
Give it a couple seconds to see if anybody's
I'm
got any
sorry.
lingering questions.
Yeah.
Now's your chance. Ask the expert. Bethany Allison is available for questions, and her contact info is on the screen.
Absolutely. Yes. You can send me an email. I'm happy to help. Like I said, I've done almost every configuration. I've done every configuration Eurowall has to offer. I'm pretty knowledgeable and I'm happy to help. Also, Wade, he's your sales rep, and Stephanie knows him too. So between the two of us, we would just love to help you all out.
Eurowall is an ongoing premier sponsor for AIA South Carolina, so we're very appreciative to Eurowall and to you, Bethany, for being here today to share this great info. I hope
Well,
it's
thank
been
you.
inspiring to our group.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So hopefully, if they need anything moving forward, I'd love to be a part of it. And let's talk about that AIA cruise.
Yeah. And we'll try to get you back so you can go to share more information about those the engineering tests and maybe go into further detail another time.
Yeah, for sure. Get me on the schedule. I'd love to provide credits. And Stephanie, are you reporting those credits?
We are, yes.
Okay.
Those will be
Let me know if anybody asks for a certificate. I can facilitate something.
excellent. All right, well, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thanks again, everybody. Thank you, Bethany.
Yeah,
And
no problem. And again, thank you so much. I'm gonna log off here, and if anybody needs anything, please feel free to reach out.
all right, we'll see you next time. And just a reminder to the group that's here, we do have another CEHSW on Thursday, so in 2 days. Just a reminder, it's a little different schedule for us, but we've squeezed another HSW in for you this week. Check it out. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, thanks, Stephanie.
Bye-bye.